Everybody, I'm back. I hope that y'all like the first episode. I'm gonna start off by saying thanks to whoever watched the first episode. Thanks for the feedback. Um, and I just want to pray before I start talking. So, dear Heavenly Father, I pray that you put a shield of protection around me and my child as I make this video. I pray that you don't let no harm, or danger come towards us from making this video. And I pray that you keep guiding me in the right direction and let me know that this is the right way that I should be going. And I pray that you don't allow anyone to discourage me, to stop my blessings, or stop the motivation that I'm trying to give out. In Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen. Okay, so let's get into it. The last place that I left off, my mom called me with her husband saying that I need to apologize to him. So, me being me, I already didn't like him. So, there was no need for me to apologize to him. So, I got real nasty and belligerent. I'm not going to lie. I got real nasty and belligerent because why would you ever call my phone and tell me to apologize to a man that, one, don't like me, and two, I don't like him? It made no sense. So, I stopped talking to her for a while. So, after that, I stopped talking to her for a little bit, like a couple of months. And then one day, she called me. And when she called me, we talked. And then after that, we started talking again. But it was never the same. It was like never the same. So, a lot of things started happening. And I just kept saying to myself, why is this happening? Why is this happening? As far as I kept trying to have a kid. I was trying to fill the void. So I kept trying to have a kid. And it was like the doctors was telling me, oh, your body is not stable for you to carry a kid for a term. So every time that I got pregnant, I would lose the baby. And now that's stressing me out because it's like, damn, what could I do to have a kid? Like now it's time for me. Like I want to start my own family. I want to feel love like you feel love like from a kid. So every time I got pregnant, so I'm saying to myself, is this because I had got an abortion when I first got pregnant? Is it like did they mess up my body? Or whatever the case may be. Is this because I got an abortion before? Because also when I was with my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, like I said, we was dealing with in the beginning, we was dealing with each other. In the beginning, we was dealing with each other, but I also was dealing with the person that I also was dealing with, and she also was dealing with the person that she was dealing with. So, during that time of me still messing with the person that I was messing with, I wound up getting pregnant with twins. And I wound up getting an abortion because the person that I was pregnant by went to jail. I was just about to start college. And the babies wasn't going to make it anyway. So it was either carry the babies and push them out dead or get an abortion. So I wound up getting an abortion. So now when I'm ready to have a kid, no. Then after that, I started messing with another boy that I was with for like a very long time. And I got pregnant with a son. And the son didn't make it. I wound up, one day I was sitting on the toilet. I was at my mom's house and I was sitting on the toilet. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's a nice summer day outside, right, y'all? Don't get me wrong. It's nice outside. It's lit outside. This is one of the days when they do like all the block parties. Like it's about to be lit outside. So I'm sitting on the toilet using the bathroom, got my clothes out, about to take a shower, just like pink curl my hair up, not knowing that I'm pregnant. So the whole time I'm dealing with this man. I'm running away from home. Well, he wasn't the man. He was my age. I'm running away from home and I'm messing with this man when I'm running away from home. I'm staying at his house. I'm sleeping up in his bed. Even now I'm back at my mom's house. I'm telling my mother, oh, I'm staying the night at my friend's house. Long and behold, I'm not at my friend's house. I'm at the nigga house. Me and my friends going to parties just to make sure we see y'all niggas. Like that, I love that nigga. Like that nigga was the love of my life. Like I did anything for that nigga. That nigga told me to jump off a bridge. I was jumping off of it. Okay. So, sorry about that. So, yeah, I wound up getting pregnant with a son, and I wound up having a miscarriage. So now, as I get older, I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to have kids, this and that, da, da, da. Like, I think I'm ready, or whatever the case may be. And, now the doctor is telling me, like, oh, you can't carry kids long term because of your body, something with my uterus. I wasn't able to keep a kid long term. So that was like heartbreaking too. So it's like, damn, I'm already not loved, and now I can't even love somebody else. Like I can't have a kid. Like what's going on? So now that pushed me back to go into nursing. So I went back to doing home health aid because now these are my babies. I can give them the love that I didn't have, even though that they was older. I could show them the love that they want to have. So long and behold, I went and signed up for this agency. And the agency told us that they didn't have kids at all. They only had adults. So one day my case manager, she had called me and she was like, I got a special task for you or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I go to the house. Who is it? It's a kid in a wheelchair. And he's a boy and he can't talk, he can't nothing. He's just like so sweet, everything. And I just fell in love with him, like as if that was my kid. So that boy that I was fiending for, I was able to feel with him. And I was with him for about 2 years. I'll say 1.5 years, 2 years. And then it started to be like a lot with the family, and his sister threatened to stab me up and whatever the case may be. So I wound up dropping the case and I went back to the older people. So now I gotta be like, let me see, 24? No, not 24, 22. Because I worked all my life. I worked since I was 14. I started working at summer camps through PIC. I always worked. I always had a job. So I had to be like 22. I still was running the streets. I still was doing what I was doing, but I was trying to get myself out of it. In the process of me trying to get myself out of it, I found myself right back in it. Because I allowed myself to give somebody a chance that I should have never gave them a chance. And when I gave them that chance, everything that I was pushing forward to knocked me back down 10 steps. And it was like, I was saying to myself, damn, why the fuck would I let myself do that? Like, why the fuck would I do that to myself? Like, why the fuck would I allow someone to bring me down this much to where now I went from wearing a size 6 to wearing a motherfucking size 0. Literally. Skin and bones. I went from the pretty light-skinned girl with no chest, no stomach, just legs and ass, always dressed different with her friends, to being a motherfucking 0 bony, looking like a fucking skeleton, okay? Because I allowed someone to come back in my circumference zone, and I allowed them to break me down, literally. So now, after they already broke me, it's like, okay, cool. My family not fucking with me. Now I thought I had this person that was gonna stick in it for the long run. I done lost fucking everything. I done stopped going to college. I done quit my job. So now I'm just out here, like just like, okay, so what's next? Like what's next? What's really next? What am I gonna do next? How am I gonna get up off my feet and up off my ass and get my shit together? Why? Because one, I'm not driving. I don't drive. They was taking me everywhere I needed to go. They was giving me whatever the fuck I wanted. So I quit my job. I was being taken care of. I was put up. Not for nothing. I was put the fuck up. But still in all, being put up came with a price. So I basically sold my soul to that person for them to make sure that I'm put up. So I was dealing with getting beaten on, getting burnt in the face, getting cheated on, watching them kiss other people, watching them cheat on me directly in my face, and not saying nothing about it. Why? Because I was put the fuck up. I didn't need or want for anything. So it was just like, okay, what the fuck am I mad for? Allowing them to bring other people into our home while I sit upstairs on another floor while you cheating on me. And I didn't really care because you gave me whatever the fuck I wanted. And at that point in time, money made me happy. Drugs made me happy. Drinking made me happy. All of that made me happy. But as that's making me happy because it's filling the void that I was looking for since I was a young kid, that shit brought me to a 0-0 from being a 6. From being a size 6, I went to a 0-0. Skin and fucking bones. Literally. Skin and fucking bones. I was bonier than the fuck. If somebody would have plucked me, my arm was breaking. That's how bony I was. Why? Because I was so much into popping mollies, drinking, buying this. Now, don't get it fucked up. I stayed in the motherfucking ladies. I had the latest sneakers. I had the latest bag. I had the latest. I was out this bitch wearing bundles. All that shit. I was doing it. I was living. I was living life. But I was living life for a cause. I was living that shit for a cause. And that shit broke me down. Literally. Don McCurkin said, we fall down and we get back up. I didn't know how the fuck I was getting up. Realistically, I did not know how I was getting up. I did not know how I was coming up out of that. I could sit right here and I can honestly tell you that. I really don't know how I was coming up out of that. It was to the point where I was so head over heels for this person that it's fucking snowing. It's fucking 3 degrees and it's snowing. And I'm on top of the fucking car, holding on to the windshield wipers while this person is dragging me down the street, okay? Because I'm so high out of my mind. And the drugs are just taking over my body. Because all I knew was that type of love. I couldn't have kids. So what the fuck else was I living for? What's going through my mind at that time? What really else was I looking for? What more did I have to live for? So it was like, okay, if that person let me, then my life was over. I might as well just give it up. That was my motive. That was my motive at that point in time because, once again, I was trying to feed a void. And so you see how it's always going to be it's like a revolving door. You constantly keep going over it and 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 over it until you learn, like, you're better than that. Put yourself first. Know your worth. Be true to you. Love yourself. And it took me a long time for me to love myself. Literally, it did. And I'm not scared to say that. And I'm not afraid to say that. And I'm not ashamed of saying that. It took me years to know who I was. And still to this day, I still don't automatically all the way know who I am. I don't. Because I still go through shit. But at the end of the day, I know I'm a black woman. I know what I can stand for. I know that I am strong. And I know that can't nothing break me. I am not the person that I was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was outside losing it. If you was there, you know. I was fighting for my love. I was fighting everybody. You get a beat, and you get a beat, and you get a... Everybody gets to be in because nobody was taking this person away from me. Nobody. Because this the person that I thought was loving me. But in reality, they wasn't really loving me. They was just buying my happiness. And now I see that. But back then I didn't. Because I wasn't mentally here. Yeah, I was here, but I was always on drugs or drinking. It was always something. It was always some type of substance for me to feel it, to feel numb. It was always something that I did. Now let me just say this. I wasn't no crackhead or none of that. I really just want to say that. I was not no crackhead. I never did crack. I never did dope. I never did meth. I never did coke. I never did none of that stuff. I just was a pill popping animal. Yes, I was. I never did a perk. I just was a pill popping animal. And that's it. And I like the drink. And why I did it? Because it made me numb. It made me not feel my feelings. It made me not face reality. So when I would have to go around my family or whatever the case may be, I would make sure by the time I get by them, I'm drunk or I'm high. So now we could be all like whatever. Kumbaya. I don't care how y'all feel about me. Y'all don't care about how y'all feel about me. Fuck it. We here. What's up? What's going on? It's either we gonna be cool or we gonna get there. We gonna get active. And that's what I was giving them. Why? Because I was getting tired. It was taking me to the steps where I was getting tired of the bullshit. And I was getting tired of feeling like I was all alone. And why is it only me that's feeling like this? And it was days that I wrote letters and everything, ready to kill myself, like ready to end that shit. It was days I was high out of my mind and stood in the middle of fucking streets, ready for a motherfucking car to come run me the fuck over because I was done with it. It was times where I took multiple pills and sat in the tub with water. Just to go. Just to let it go. I was ready to take my own life. Because I kept saying to myself, what am I here for? What is my purpose here? What is my purpose here on earth? Why am I here to get mistreated, used, and abused? Who wants to go through that? From a kid to an adolescent teenager. Who wants to go through that? Like, realistically, who wants to go through that? So, yes, it was many times when I was ready to knock it off. And I just kept saying to myself, like, I can't. Something just is in the back of my mind, like, you better than this. You better than this. But still, in order, I still had that voice in the back of my mind, like, yeah, do it. Just do it. They don't love you. They don't want you here. They don't really fuck with you. Only time they fuck with you when it's beneficial to them. So do it. They ain't gonna matter if you gone to here. But that voice was in the back of my head. It was loud, real loud. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yet, still in all, while that voice is screaming at me like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm still getting high. I'm still getting drunk. Because while you saying don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, I'm still in my mind saying, why am I here? What am I here for? I'm not loved here. I'm just tolerating the shit. I'm dealing with the shit. I'm letting people buy my happiness. I don't really have a family. I'm in the world alone. I'm in the world all alone. All the fuck alone. So why am I here? I want to speak on something though too. I'm going to take it back a little bit real fast, okay? I used to go to this camp, right? Excuse me. I used to go to this camp called Creech Temple. And I met this lady named Ebony, and I met her mother, Karen. And I had to be either 14 or 15 years old. But before that, I always praise dance. I always was in church. I used to go to Pastor Mike Church. And I was praise dancing. I started praise dancing at the age of 6. I was always praise dancing. I stopped praise dancing for Pastor Mike Church when I started going to Creech Temple. Ebony and her mother used to go to that church there, so I got real cool with Ebony. And like she's another one. Like she took me in. She took me in that she had a daughter, but her daughter was real young. So she took me in as her little sister. So everywhere she went, I went. Everywhere her mom went, I went. So I always stay the night at her house on weekends or whatever, and I started going back to church with her and her mom or whatever. And I became a praise dancer for the camp. I was one of the head praise dancers. I just want to get into that because other lady Melanie that was on the live. And she was there. She was also there too. It was like a lot. During that time, it was really like a lot. Around that time, I was living with my mom. Because my grandmother was sick. And my grandmother couldn't take care of me because of her being sick. So I was living with my mom, and we had bunk beds or whatever the case may be. And some type of way, no. Yeah, we had bunk beds. And my bunk bed was at the top, and my sister's bunk bed was at the bottom. My sister used to be in the bed, whatever the case may be. And she wanted to sleep at the top of my bed. So I'm like, oh, no, you can't sleep pretty snap. Because I told her that she couldn't sleep there. My mother kicked me out the bed. And the next day, it was Friday. So that Friday, it was time for me to go stay the night at Ebony's house. So I tells Ebony what happened or whatever. And what the fuck happened? My bad. And so now they called my mom, and now I have to come. Now I can't stay the night by Ebony's house. I gotta go home. So when I go home, I'm not knowing what the fuck is going on. I get there, I got my motherfucking ass whooped. Okay, I got my motherfucking ass beat down to the ground. So now later on that day, we goes out with my mom or whatever the case may be, and she was going with this man. I'm not gonna disclose his name because he's not alive anymore. But she was going with this man or whatever, and she was with him, and he was like really, really abusive. So he wound up beating her ass, and when he beat her ass, me and my sisters, we ran outside because we was in a house right next door. We ran outside because we heard her. So when we ran outside, she was knocked out on the ground. So as she's knocked out on the ground, we start attacking the men. So when she gets up, she don't really say nothing to us. She just like to them, like, take them or whatever. Whatever. We started attacking the man. The man was acting like he wanted to hit, like he was hitting on us. He wanted to fight us back or whatever. So now we goes home and we start like messing up his clothes and stuff. Like we start like destroying his clothes and stuff. My mother came in here and beat the shit out of us. Do you hear what I say? Beat the dog shit out of us. The dog shit out of us. All because we were trying to help her from getting her ass whipped. Okay? So you see where I'm going with this? So that's another thing. Like when I want to say that too. When I was up on that live with my sister today, there's a lot of stuff that she's not going to say, but it's a lot of stuff that I am going to say. Yes, when I was younger, the man that was beating up on my mother, the story that I just told y'all, he was beating up on my mother, he used to hide money up in that couch. And my mother acted like all she wanted to do was be worried about a motherfucking nigga. I took it, and I took care of me and my motherfucking sisters, periodically. I sure did. I was the mother right then and here. Because clearly our mother wasn't doing shit. So while I'm taking the money and I'm getting my ass beat, y'all motherfuckers is decked out, lead pencils, all that shit. But yeah, I just wanted to say that right there. But back to what I was saying. So, where was I? Oh, so I started praise dancing for them. And it got me more into church. And I think that changed me a little bit. But not as much. Because, once again, I still was out in the streets. But I was praise dancing. It changed me as much. And when I was with Ebony, she showed me a lot of love. Like, When she went shopping, I went shopping. When she got her hair done, I got my hair done. When she bought sneakers, I bought sneakers. Every Friday, she took me out to eat. Every Saturday, we went out to the movies. She would let me go to parties. She would let me do basically what the fuck I wanted. As long as I paid attention in school, did my work. I did my homework. I wasn't being disrespectful. When I went to her house on the weekends, I was able to do whatever I wanted. That was like my big sister. That's just like Winter too. When I met Winter, long as my motherfucking grades was good, long as the teachers wasn't called, because Winter, the teachers have Winter number. The principal had Winter number. Everybody would call Winter, oh, you gotta come get Kajay. She not doing this, she not doing that. Or when they come pick us up from the super, oh, Kajay doing this. Long as my grades was good, and long as I wasn't like being bad or whatever it is, I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. So like I said, no, I was not getting the love from my family. But when I went out and met these outside people showed me what love was. Well, tried to show me what love was, because I still to this day, I'm not gonna say I physically know what love is, because I'm learning it myself with my own kid. But I just would never do what happened to me. So they tried to show me what love is. Show me how to be loved. Show me how to feel safe. They tried to do that. So, yeah. I'm going to stop it right here. See y'all next Sunday.